a very dangerous situation. If you are in Joplin, please take cover.
Oh, no, all right, it's behind.
Take cover.
Yes, please.
Right now.
Please
I am telling you to
yes,
take cover.
Take cover
right now.
5:34 in the afternoon, an ordinary Sunday. A graduation ceremony had just ended, and in the sky above southwest Missouri, something was forming that had no right to exist. Witnesses would later say it looked like a wall, a solid, black, mile-wide wall, moving toward them at 25 miles an hour, swallowing the horizon. In the next 38 minutes, this wall would kill 158 people. It would destroy 1/3 of an American city. It would pick up 15,000 vehicles and throw them like toys. It would rip the walls off a 9-story hospital while patients were still inside. What really happened that day? To understand it, you have to go back one full day. On the evening of May 21st, a low-pressure system was quietly rotating over western South Dakota, hundreds of miles from Joplin, seemingly no threat at all. But the atmosphere was already assembling the ingredients for catastrophe. By 8 o'clock the next morning, forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center already knew this was not an ordinary severe weather day. They upgraded the region from a slight risk to a moderate risk of severe storms. Somewhere in that outlook was a single chilling phrase, a tornado or two possible. They had no idea how catastrophically right they were. The storm that would hit Joplin actually started as something unremarkable, a weak, spinning couplet, barely an EF0, but the atmospheric fuel around it was so extreme that within minutes it exploded in strength. At 5:34 p.m., the tornado touched down on the southwest edge of the city, near the intersection of JJ Highway and West 32nd Street. It was already rated EF5. It had not even reached the city limits yet, and it was already the strongest classification a tornado can receive.
This is a tornado. Yeah, this is a very dangerous situation. We cannot stress this enough. If you are in Joplin, please take cover.
Take cover.
Yes, please.
Right now.
Please,
I am telling you to
yes,
take cover.
Take cover right now.
Within minutes, it reached St. John's Regional Medical Center, a 9-story hospital, fully staffed, fully occupied. That night, 183 patients were inside.
You can see nearly every window in the hospital has been damaged. The roof severely damaged. Every vehicle in the parking lot is a total loss. They've taken all their critical care patients to a neighboring hospital, and that hospital cannot take any more patients other than life-threatening injuries.
The tornado stripped exterior walls from the building floor by floor. It rotated the entire structure on its foundation. Ambulances and a rescue helicopter parked outside were destroyed. Here is the number that should stop you cold. Inside a 9-story building that lost its outer walls to a Category 5 tornado, only 6 people died, 5 patients on ventilators who lost power when the backup generator failed, and 1 visitor. Why so few? Because in the minutes before impact, nurses and doctors made a desperate, disciplined decision, pulling mattresses off beds and dragging critical patients into interior hallways. It was not luck that saved that hospital. It was training, and it was courage, executed under something close to hell.
All my staff is here. I mean, I had 2 pregnant nurses that dove under gurneys, and I mean, I was so worried that they were hurt, but you know, they showed up and they worked all night long. So it's a testimony to the human spirit.
The tornado moved on. Next in its path, Joplin High School. Here is the twist that saved dozens, maybe hundreds of lives. The senior graduation ceremony, originally scheduled inside the high school's own football stadium, had been moved that morning to a university campus across town because of an earlier forecast. When the tornado tore through the high school grounds minutes later, ripping the building apart and tossing a school bus onto its own bus garage, the stadium that would have been packed with families was empty.
This tornado happened at the same time that the graduation ceremonies were going on here in Joplin. The graduation ceremonies, thankfully, were not happening at the high school itself because the high school was demolished. So just one situation after another. There's a story kind of every 5 feet you walk around here.
One young man from that graduating class was not so fortunate. 18-year-old Will Norton was driving home from his own commencement with his father, Mark, at the wheel. As the tornado struck their Hummer, it flipped repeatedly. Will was pulled through the sunroof. His father grabbed his son's legs and held on with everything he had. It was not enough. Will was thrown into a nearby pond. His body would not be found for 5 days. Mark suffered severe injuries and was taken to a hospital. The tornado kept moving, and it kept growing. By the time it reached Rangeline Road, Joplin's main commercial corridor, it had widened to nearly a full mile across. This was its peak. At a Pizza Hut on that strip, manager Christopher Lucas, a Navy veteran, father of 2 with a 3rd child on the way, made a decision in seconds. He herded 4 employees and 15 customers into the restaurant's walk-in freezer. When the freezer door began to shudder against the wind, Lucas wrapped a bungee cord around the handle, then around his own arm, and held it shut with his body.
He ran in and grabbed this bungee cord, wrapped it around, and was holding it. And as soon as I saw the door start to slip, I grabbed him. I tried to grab for the handle, but there's no handle on the other side. And I grabbed him. I was holding on with one hand with the cable, but on him, he was holding it mostly. And then when everything blew away, he was gone. The door was gone.
The wind won. The door was ripped from its hinges, and Christopher Lucas went with it. But every single person left inside that freezer survived. Just down the road, at a Home Depot built with tilt-up concrete panels, 59-year-old Dean Wells, another veteran, an electrician who cared for a homebound wife, was guiding 40 to 50 customers and staff toward the back of the store when the walls came down in a chain reaction, collapsing like dominoes. Wells was killed instantly. 7 people near the front of the store died with him. Remarkably, 28 people sheltering in the back survived, because those same walls fell outward, away from them. The destruction grew increasingly severe. At a group home for adults with disabilities, a caregiver named Mark Lindquist threw mattresses over 3 men with Down syndrome and climbed on top to hold them down with their own body weight. Lindquist was thrown more than half a block, impaled on debris, and broke every rib in his body. He spent nearly 2 months in a coma. He survived. Tragically, the men he tried to protect did not.
And I had trouble dealing with that at first, but I realized that they're in a better place. And now instead of me watching over them, they're kind of watching down on me, and I actually feel like I have 3 angels.
By the time the funnel finally lifted near the town of Diamond at around 6:12 p.m., it had been on the ground for roughly 38 minutes and traveled 22 miles. In that time, 7,500 homes damaged, over 500 businesses destroyed, 15,000 vehicles wrecked beyond recognition. According to the Joplin Globe, 54% of the dead were killed inside their own homes, 32% died in commercial buildings, 14% died in vehicles or outdoors. It was, and remains, the deadliest single tornado in the United States since official record-keeping began in 1950. Today, Joplin's population stands higher than it was before the tornado ever touched down, but recovery was never only measured in buildings. Will Norton's family kept his bedroom exactly as he left it. Years later, they built something for the community instead of just for their grief. The Will Norton Miracle Field, a baseball park designed for children with special needs, and Will's Place, a mental health treatment center for young people. Christopher Lucas's family and co-workers have spent over a decade making sure his name is never forgotten. The manager who chose, in an instant, to hold a door shut with his own body so that 20 other people could go home to their families. Mark Lindquist, still carrying the physical scars of the beam that impaled him, was publicly honored by the Missouri State Legislature. Privately, he still struggles with what he couldn't save. Joplin proved something that disasters again and again seem to prove, that even in the middle of the worst thing that has ever happened to a community, ordinary people choose extraordinary courage, not because they were asked to, because someone needed them to. If this story moved you, if it reminded you why preparation matters and why the people who run toward danger to save others deserve to be remembered, hit like, drop a comment below with the moment that hit you hardest, and subscribe for more true stories of disaster, survival, and the courage that rises when everything else falls apart. Because somewhere, right now, there is another storm forming, and the only real difference between tragedy and survival might be 38 minutes, and whether you're ready when the siren sounds.